Thank you for having me here. I'm very happy to share my knowledge and discuss some points with you. So if you have any questions, please raise your hand, or we are not so much people, just ask, and I'm happy to discuss all the topics I will show you. First of all, I have to apologize. English is not my native language. Sometimes I'm looking for the right word to express myself. So if you don't understand what I say, please raise your hand and ask. I have no problem with that. So before I start, just a short introduction about myself. You see, I'm not the youngest boy, so I work for more than 30 years in the IT industry. I always worked for the best Microsoft partners in Austria. I also worked 9 years for Microsoft as a partner technology advisor. So I understand Microsoft much better after that 9 years. Now I'm a cloud architect, and I have a blog, but this blog is mostly in German, so you can read it, but you'll need Google Translate for this. And I'm very glad that I'm the first MVP for security in Austria, so now I'm part of this community. What is my daily job? My daily job is supporting companies on their way to Microsoft 365, mostly in the areas governance, security, data protection, and user adoption. So some of the topics I discussed today come from these user adoption sessions I do with my customers. Otherwise, I am the CEO, so the Chief Entertainment Officer of one of the hardest one-day enduro events in the world. It's in Austria, the Red Bull Erzberg Rodeo. And you see, this is a little bit different from my job here. It's a lot of dust, a lot of motorbikes and dirt, and very less computer and more fun and hard work. So, yeah. Why do I do this session? Because if you speak with other MVPs and if you speak with other people, I often heard that their channels are not good. Some people recommend to turn off shared channels, and there is a discussion, why should I use shared channels? Why should I use channels instead of the general channels? And a lot of people are very confused that Office 365 has so many possibilities to communicate, and they say, today people call me on phone, send me emails, send me fax, and now they chat with me and invite me to a lot of teams, and I do not understand how to use all these tools. And one of them, or the basic question is, why is Microsoft 365 so complicated? Why has Microsoft so many applications in this tool set? And if you look, you can send messages in Outlook, you can send messages in a Teams chat, you can send messages in a Teams, in a private channel, in a shared channel, you can send messages in Viva Engage. And why is Microsoft not possible to create one app, one power app where we do everything? And the answer to this question is very simple. The answer is a question to you. What is normally the first application you start in the morning? And you can answer to me.
Always Teams for me. Every day.
Yeah, it's a bad community for asking this question. But in a normal environment with normal people, the answer is, yeah, it's Outlook. And the last application they close on the day is Outlook. And most of the people use Outlook as the only business application in the non-business hours, so on holiday, on the weekends, in the evening. And the problem is that Outlook is such a powerful application that we do everything with Outlook. So we do not only important formal emails, but we exchange documents with Outlook, we chat with Outlook, we do projects inside of Outlook, we do all the management of our tasks in Outlook. And the problem with most people is that they have too much emails in their inbox. And the problem is that, yeah, we can all handle full inboxes, but my problem is with a full inbox. So if I have more than 50, 80 mails in my inbox, sometimes I wake up in the night and say, oh, Michael sent me an email 3 days ago and I totally forgot because it's 3 meters under my inbox. And I can show you my inbox now, and no, I didn't clean it up before this event. This is my working inbox, and you see I have 2 emails in my inbox, and this is the normal way my inbox looks. So I cannot work with more than 20, 30 emails in my inbox. And if you ask me, what is the idea of Office 365? For me, the idea of Office 365 is to reduce the abuse of email. So Microsoft will not get rid of email. There were other companies that tried to get rid of email. In my point of view, we will have email in 10, 15 years. But Office 365 helps you to get less emails. And shared channels is one important step for reducing the number of emails. And I will go through this change of communications because shared channels are the last part of this communication change. And I will do a lot of live demos, and so I will stop my PowerPoint. So the first part in the abuse of email is a very funny part, because if you think how you communicate with your friends and your families, what tools do you use in communication, in the digital communication with your friends and your families? Oh, hi, Kat. So you can speak with me. I think it's WhatsApp, Teams.
Yeah, WhatsApp is a.
Yeah, it tends to be Teams sort of professional comms, and then WhatsApp or Signal is more like the personal side of things. Yeah,
and it's very unusual to send to your friends or families emails. So it's normal for us to communicate in our private life with a chat tool. And the funny thing, I have 3 children, 3 boys. The youngest is 26, so they are grown up. And my children have an email address since they were born. So yeah, I gave them on the second day an email address. But sending them emails was completely useless. I have to send them a text message, the past, or today with WhatsApp and Signal. And the funny thing for me was, after they start working, I get emails from them. So something changed if we go to work, so that we use email for something we would never use in our private life. The other funny fact I see is that people start using their consumer chat tools in business, and that's really bad regarding data protection and so. So I will not really talk a lot about the possibilities of chat because I think all of you know what you can do. The benefit of using chat in Teams is that you are data compliant, so you're GDPR compliant. The second benefit is that you have all of your colleagues in your address book. So if someone started today in your company, you will find him in the address book. And on the other side, if someone leaves the company, you are sure that he cannot read the chat messages you sent him or her. And you know you can change a chat like you can do it in WhatsApp to a video or audio call. And this is a difference to WhatsApp. You can also do a formatted chat, so you can write bold and bullet points and all this stuff. And you can send files through the chat only if it's internal. So I can upload from my computer and I can upload here a file. And it's the same as in WhatsApp. You can add other people to the chat, and you can, if you have more than one and you have a chat, you can convert this to a chat group, chat group, and you have a communication for your chat group. So you know all this stuff. Why is chat not the best way to communicate in your company environment for handling projects, for handling all the stuff in your department, so for all the formal communications? There are many reasons why chat is not the right tool for a formal communication. The first reason is because we use chat in our private life. Chat has something like it's not so important. Chat is more for funny things and private things. This is the first reason. The second reason is you do not have a structure in your chat conversation. So you will mix up in a chat group topics where we will go to lunch today and very important topics about our projects that we have. And in your files, you do not have really a structure, a possibility to structure, to create folders in your file folder in your chat groups. But in my point of view, worst part of a chat group in Teams is that you do not really have a control over the members of the chat group. So everyone in the chat group can add other people to your chat group. And everyone in the chat group can remove other people in the chat group. So if you create a chat group and you invite 5, 6, 7 people to this chat group, they can kick you out. And so chat is nice for a fast, informal communication, but chat is not the right tool for your communication inside a project or inside your department. What do we use for a communication inside my project and inside my department? Here we have Teams. You all know that. The difference between a team and a chat group is that if you create a team, you are responsible. Oh, I have already a team. So as a team owner, you have the control who is part of your team. So if you create a team, you have a protected room, a protected environment for your project, for your department, and you as a team owner can decide who is part of this team. If it's a private team and not a public team. But in my point of view, there is not really a reason to create a public team, because in my point of view, the better place for a public team is a general community. It's not true for all teams, but in a general, a team is more a private team and not a public team. So I am the team owner. I am responsible who is member of my team, and I can add people from my company, and I can add people from outside the company. And I just see I forgot one important part in the chat area. Sorry, I have to open my notes. So there is one important part if you chat with people outside your company. So if your company allows chatting with people from outside your company, and you type in the email address of the person you want to chat, sometimes you will find two names in the chat address book. You find a guest and you find an external person. And here it's very important, if you chat with someone, always use the external user and not the guest user. Why should you do this? Because if you use the guest user and you chat with me, I will not see this chat message in my chat client, because here I'm in my company and I have to switch to you. I cannot switch now because the meeting will cancel, but you have to switch to the tenant where you are a guest to see the chat message you did with the guest user. So always use the external, because if you chat with the external, this is the chat client you normally, or the people normally are in, and I cannot show you the chat message because I am on Do Not Disturb, so you will not see it. This is very important. That are really two different accounts where you chat to. So now we come back to the teams, and the idea of the team is that you have in the general channel here in the conversations the place where you can put all the conversation of your project you normally do with email. So the idea of a team is to move the conversation from email to the Teams client. And here you can do everything you can do with your email client. And the latest change in Teams, that the newest posts are on the top, are exactly because of this replacement of Teams, because in your Outlook client, it's the same. The newest mails on the top, the oldest mails on the bottom, and in the Teams, you have now the same. So you have a subject, and you have here the same possibility as you have in the email. There are some advantages to use a Teams conversation and not to use an email. First, you will find all of the communication of your project in one place. So if Jake joins our project 3 or 5 months after the start of the project, and we did the whole communication via email, Jake will have no idea what we communicated in the past. If we do all of the communication in our Teams and in our channel, and I invite Jake to this channel, he will find all of the conversations we did the last 5-6 months. The second benefit is if someone replies to a message, and normally people say reply to all, everyone will get another email, And if there are 20 people in our project, this reply will create 19 emails. And every reply will also create a lot of emails. And you have to archive all these emails out of your inbox. The next benefit is if there is a message where I say, I read this and this is good, I do not have to reply all and write down that this is okay, but I have the possibility to make a sum up or something other. And we have now also the possibility to say, I don't like this message. And I'm very happy that this is not Americans do not do a bad feedback to a message. So this was the reason why we only had these 4 reactions to an email. And in Europe, it's normal to say that this is not a good message. So this is the reason why we should put all of our communications in a project, in a department, to a Teams channel. But then I get some questions. Christian, sometimes I send an email to Jake and I put all other people to CC. How can I do this in a Teams conversation? Oh, that's very easy. Please finish project. I can notify people with add, so I can say add Johnny. Please do this until tomorrow. And now it's clear. This is a message regarding to Johnny, and all other people know this is nothing for me. This is for Johnny. And if we switch to Johnny, if we switch to Johnny, yeah, it took a little time. Johnny will get a notification that Melanie has mentioned her, and Johnny will see the message here. Or not, I have to refresh. We'll see the message here and see an add sign that she was mentioned in this. Yeah, here I see this. So I have the same possibility to address a message only to 1 or 2 people inside of my group as in the email. So sometimes you have in a larger project a group of people who need more conversations. So for example, you have the marketing people inside of the project, and the marketing people discuss if we should do it in a light green, in a darker green, in a dark green, or if we should use blue as a project color. And to be honest, you're not interested to read all these discussions because it does not matter if it's green or blue. So if you have a group of people that need a place where they can discuss their topics, that's the reason why you add another channel. So I add the marketing channel, and I can decide if this channel is interesting for all of my people in my team, or if I say, no, marketing is not interesting for all the people, so I do not show this channel in the channel list. For my demo, I will, doesn't matter. So now the marketing team has a place where they can discuss their marketing topics, and everyone in my team has access to this discussion. But if I say I'm not interested in the marketing blah blah, I can hide this channel. And this is a very interesting point, because if I write in the marketing channel, which color should we use? And I think this is a very important question, and I want everyone in the marketing channel to look at this question. I can use add channel, and I can notify the channel. I think you know this. So, and I was asking myself the question, if I have a team and in this team are 10 people and I create a normal channel, then all of the 10 people have access to this channel. So, and I asked the question, what is the difference between add channel, the notification add channel, because this notifies everyone who is part of the channel, and add team, because add team notifies everyone in the team. So, but in a normal channel, everyone is part of the channel. So why do we have a add team and a add channel? And the reason is very simple. If I decide not to look at the marketing channel, and if I decide to hide the marketing channel, then the notification with add channel will not notify me because my marketing channel is hidden. But if marketing says our color is green and they want to tell this very important message to everyone in the team, they can say, at team, we found our color, and now everyone in the team is notified, regardless if they have hidden the channel or not. So now we have one general channel, and we have the second channel where everyone has access to, but everyone can decide to hide it. So sometimes we have the situation that some people in my project need a separate room where they can speak, and not everyone in the project can read all of the topics. So this is also possible. So you can add a channel and you say, here we'll discuss all the finance topics, and I can change the privacy to a private channel. And now I can decide who has access to this private channel. I can only add people that are part of my team to this private discussion room. And now I have a place where only a few people of my group can discuss their topics. My recommendation is not to create too much private channels. You should ask the question, is it not allowed that the other members of my team can see the content? Then a private channel is okay. But in many cases, I see that people say, oh, they don't need that. So I make a private channel because you don't need this information. And if you think that the other people in the team do not need the information, then please create a normal channel and hide it. Because if it's allowed that they see the communication, they should be able to switch to this team. Because we have seen that sometimes I think Jake do not need this information, and then I recognize that Jake is very interested in the topic, which color we should use, and say, hey, why do you not use brown? Because brown is the best color in the world, and so on. So use a private channel only if it's not allowed that other team members should see your conversation. And The last way of communication is sometimes it's necessary to communicate with people that are not part of the project. So, for example, you have a department that do the video editing, and you create a lot of videos, and you need to share the videos with this department. Yeah, one possibility is to add someone from this department to your team, but you do not want to give them access to all of the content in your team because they should only do the video editing. And the other possibility is to share only the files, because you can share the videos with people outside of your team. But then you have only one part of the possibility of Teams, because you do not have the conversation inside the project. There is no possibility that they ask a question about the videos. So they have to ask the question via email, and then you have the same problem. So if you want to share some information with people outside of your team, then a shared channel is exactly the right way. And here's one recommendation. If you create a shared channel and you use here shared channel, first of all, you have the possibility to share this channel with everyone in your team, or to make the same channel as a private channel, because if you do not share this channel with everyone, it's like a private channel. And my recommendation is, if you share a channel, skip this dialogue. And there's a good reason, because here you can share this channel only with people. If you skip this dialogue and you go to the share channel and click here on share channel, then you have much more possibilities in the shared channel. You can share it with people, but you can also share it with a team. And that is very important, because there is a department that do the video editing. And if you share it with one person, only this person in this department has access to your project. And if this person got ill or go on holiday or leave the company, the other people in this department have no access to their data. So my recommendation is, in most of the cases, it's helpful to share a channel with a team. And if you share a channel with a team, you do not get the question, give me the name of the team, but you have to share this channel with, let me just have a short look for my demo. Yeah, I have to remove Johnny. So I can share this channel with a team. So I type in the name of one owner of the team I want to share, and then I send an invite. I missed the possibility here to write some notes and say, hey, Johnny, I want to share this because we need some video editing in our project, and please share it to your video editing team. Yeah, you have to do this via chat. And if I share this now with Johnny, she gets a notification that Melanie has shared a channel with a team. And if I accept this, I have to select the team I want to share it. And this is very important. If I do this, I will not find this channel in my team. Why? Because Melanie gets now the information that Johnny has shared this channel to the team video editing. And now she says, yeah, that's the team I want Johnny to share this channel to. And if I approve it, then Johnny finds this channel in her team. And I have here now, okay, yeah, I have here now the channel. So inside of your company, a shared channel reduces the numbers of teams where people are in, because you can share only the important part of the project. A shared channel with people outside of your company has a lot of advantages than a guest. Because if you invite me to a team as a guest, the advantage is that I have access to everything in the team. So to every channel in the team, and I have access to a planner and all of the stuff. But the disadvantage advantage is I have to switch the tenant to access your information. And you see, I'm part of a lot of tenants, because I always create the teams and the tenant of the customer. And this is not really a good way to work with. So if you share a channel with my user, you will find the channel in your list of teams without switching the tenant. The better way to communicate with people outside of your company. A little side note, because I did a research 2 weeks ago. If you do a channel meeting, you know, the possibility to create a channel, to create a meeting inside the channels. If you do a channel meeting, you can do it in a normal channel, you can do it in a shared channel, but you cannot do it in a private channel. I do not really understand the technical background, but that's the fact. The funny thing is, if you do a channel meeting and you invite people from outside the team to your channel meeting, they will not have an access to the chat of the channel meeting. And the reason is very simple, because the chat from a channel meeting is in the normal conversation of a team's channel. And if you're not part of the team, you have no access to the team's channel. The second funny thing is, if you have a meeting with people of outside your company, it's not possible to add files in the meeting chat. If you share a channel, and if you create a channel meeting in a shared channel, and I switch my tenant before I attend the meeting, I have access to the meeting chat, but I cannot add any files to the meeting chat. And I think this is a bug. I reported it to Microsoft. Let's see. So that's the reason why I have so many possibilities in the channels. And that's the reason why a shared channel is That's the reason why a shared channel is very helpful. So you have the general channel in the Teams for the normal project communication. You have an additional channels where everyone in the team has access to the conversation and has the possibility to say, I'm not interested in these conversations in this channel. You have the private channel if a small group of people need a place to communicate privately. And you have the share channel to share information on this project with other people or other teams and people inside your company and outside your company. And if you understand the idea why you need a channel, then it's much easier for you when to create which type of channel. And for general, I recommend create as less channels as possible and create as much channels as needed. Sometimes I see things like this at customers. So they create a new project, they create a team and say, yeah, we will need a channel for the design team and the digital asset web and for this team and for this team and for this team. And they create a lot of channels. And I do not recommend this. I always recommend start with one channel, and only if a group of people needs more room for communications, then create the next channel. Because what happens, you have a clear idea why you created these channels. But believe me, the other people in your team do not share this great idea you had. So they will say, should I put it here or here? And then they will maybe start to share one post in multiple channels. It's not possible to disable this feature because in my point of view, this is a very bad feature. Why? Because if you post one post to multiple channels, the discussion in this post will spread because some people will discuss in this channel and some people will discuss in this channel. And this is also only necessary if you have a lot of channels and people are not sure if they should write your post in this channel or in this channel. So, but, and this is something I get in the discussion, nothing works with private and shared channels. And there is a technical reason behind this, because if you are aware of the architecture of Teams and Microsoft 365 groups, the idea that there is a content in a Microsoft 365 group where not everyone in this group has access to was never planned. So if Microsoft did the architecture of Microsoft 365 groups and teams, they always have the idea that everyone in this group has access to everything in this group. And if you remember, private channels are available since, I think, 1 or 2 years or something like that. There were a lot of people that say, Microsoft, we need private channels. And from my point of view, the private channel was never planned in groups and teams, and it was built in a way that made it possible. So if you create a private channel, you create another SharePoint site where only some people have access to. So this is not really a good architecture. And this is the reason why some applications cannot handle this. So for example, Planner cannot handle this different SharePoint sites, and that's the reason why Planner does not work in a private channel or in a shared channel. But you can use List or you can use Loop for task handling in a private channel. Is it the same as Planner? No. Is it possible to do your task handling with Loop or Lists? Yes. And the wording "nothing works with private and shared channels," I cannot really agree, because if you look at all the apps that works with private channels, you see there are a lot of apps that works with private channels. A point I do not understand is why there are some features that work, like channel meetings, that work in a shared channel but not in a private channel. So I do not understand the reason. I also do not understand the reason why Microsoft extended the numbers of channels to 1,000 in a team, but did not extend the numbers of private channels. So you can only have 30 private channels, but you can have 200 shared channels. So this is something I do not really understand, but I do not have to understand everything Microsoft does. So to sum it up, and this brings me to the finish of my presentation, for maybe because of hidden attributes for the private channel. Peter, thank you. Yeah. Maybe that's the difference, because the private channel is hidden from the other team members. So a team member does only see private channels he's member of, and maybe this is the reason. Yes. So as a summary, for informal communication, chat and chat groups is the right toolset. For the formal communication in a department or a project, do it inside of Teams. Do it in the general channel. And if a part of the team has an increased need for communication, do a new channel. If a part of a team has a need for a private communication, do a private channel. And if you need a communication with people outside your team, use the shared channel. And use as much channels as needed and as so few as possible. And something that is not part of this discussion, but for your informal discussion about news in your topic and so on, use Viva Engage. So this is the fourth point where you do communications. And this is the last and most important part. You need clear communication rules inside your company. And if you do not have clear communication rules like this inside of your company, please make some clear rules inside of your project or inside of your department. So if you start a project, do a Teams meeting or a face-to-face meeting and explain all project members that our team is the place where we do the communication, and we will do the whole communication inside of the team and not via email, and explain the idea of a second channel, of a private channel and a shared channel. And then you will see the communication gets much clearer and better than with email.